Welcome to your Frisco real estate market update for April 2024. Now, each and every month, I bring you the latest trends and the market insight so that whether you're planning on buying, selling, or investing, you can make an informed decision based upon the facts, not the headlines, about what's actually happening in our local real estate market. So, is the busy spring season finally upon us? Or are those stubbornly high mortgage rates keeping everyone on the sidelines, just waiting to see what's going to happen? Well, stay tuned to this video because I'm going to provide you the latest information on exactly what is happening, as well as on the latest home price trends. Make sure you stick around till the end when I will share with you the latest tactic that the new home builders are using to keep those sales moving. So let's dive into it right now. Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team, eXp Realty here in Frisco, Texas. And, we've reached a point where it seems that everyone has come to the realization that higher mortgage rates are here to stay. We had so many people for a long time wanting, believing, hoping that those mortgage rates were going to drop back into the threes or fours, and it just hasn't happened. And chances are it's not going to. There's nothing to indicate that we are going to get back to that rate anytime soon, if ever. But saying that, it appears that most of the experts are coming to the consensus opinion that somewhere in the fives is what we will see as a new normal. But the question on everybody's mind is, when are we going to get there? I mean, rates have been really sticky in the high sixes and low sevens again. And the latest inflation numbers that just came out within the last few days are not doing anything to signify that lower rates are on the immediate horizon. As a matter of fact, earlier this year, it was anticipated that the Federal Reserve would cut their benchmark interest rate by up to 6 times this year. They're now saying that's only going to be 3, and they're starting to push that out, saying that the first cut may not happen until July. And with that in mind, we are starting to see that both buyers and sellers understand that, and they're not willing to put their home selling or buying plans on hold any longer. I mean, let's face it, life happens. You can't wait forever if you've got a baby on the way or the family's growing, or maybe there's a job relocation or you've got a lease coming up and rents have gotten expensive. Life goes on, right? And we just have to sometimes just go ahead and make a move. But saying that, we are seeing about 6.5% be a bit of a threshold in the marketplace right now, especially 7. If rates get above 7, we notice quite a pullback in buyer activity. Not quite so pronounced at about 6.5, but when rates drop below 6.5, like they did a couple of months ago, we really saw that ball start rolling again and the buyer activity pick up. What's different this time, though, that we hadn't seen, and you may have seen in some of the headlines, is that home sellers are starting to return. Inventory is up. Those home sellers that have been waiting for rates to come back down before moving into their next home now seem to be going forward with their plans of selling and buying. The good news for anyone planning on buying with that is it's helping to keep prices somewhat at bay. We are not seeing the runaway pricing that we were seeing just a couple of years ago. As we all know, supply and demand is what impacts home prices. And as that supply has been ticking up, we are seeing home prices hold relatively steady. So I'm going to share my screen with you now and go over a couple of key graphs just to kind of give you a better idea on exactly what is happening. All right, so what I'm going to be doing here is jumping between 2 different data sources to give you an idea on exactly what's happening in the local market. This one here, we are just looking at single family residences. And I just want to go over the key market stats right here that you've probably been hearing a few things about starting with the median sold price. Now, if you've seen any of the market updates I've done before, you'll know that I don't spend a great deal of time looking at the median sold price. Now, don't get me wrong, the median sold price is important for anyone considering selling their home because you really need to know what the latest activity has been in your own neighborhood and where those sales have actually been. However, the sold price, which is basically what's reported on every media outlet, doesn't give us a true picture of what's going on with home prices. And the reason for that is if you think about it, the sold price, this is for March 2024. So for any homes that sold, closed in March, those probably went on the market late November, December, maybe the beginning part of January, which happened to be the slowest time here in Frisco. And it's also the time of the year when our home prices seasonally are at their lowest. So looking at the median sold price is kind of like looking in the rearview mirror. It's letting us know what the market was doing back then, a couple of months ago, not necessarily exactly what is going on now. But with that in mind, there are a couple of stats on here I do want to point out. And this one here is pretty important. List to sold price percentage. It's up nearly 0.5% month over month, and it's telling us that homes in general are selling within 1% of list price, 99%. So keep that in mind. It's also important to see that inventory here is up. So in March, it was up to 2.85 months, which is a 16% increase. So quickly though, what does months of inventory mean? Well, 2.85 months means that if no new homes got listed for sale, at the current pace of sales, there would be no homes for sale in 2.85 months. We'd be completely out of inventory. Obviously, that's a situation that never happens. New homes come on the market every day, but it's just kind of an indication of overall market activity. And it's, generally 5 to 6 months is considered a balanced market, which is why we are still showing as a market in favor of sellers currently. So as I scroll down here, a couple of things to point out here. For new listings that came on the market in the month of March, the median list price was $725,000. But when you look at all active listings, you can see that 775,000 is the median list price. What's the difference between the two? Active listings are all active listings on the market currently, whereas the median list price of the new listings, those are just homes that were listed within the month of March. Now, again, I mentioned I was going to look at a couple of different data sources. Now, this is looking at just March from this particular report. If I flip over to this report, this is actually from my weekly real estate market update. Now, if you'd like a copy of this report, in the description below, I have a link to this actual report. And if you're saying, but Andrew, I'm not necessarily interested just in Frisco, that's okay. Using the search bar right here at the top, you can look up the latest market information for any city or zip code actually in the entire country. So feel free to go ahead and do this or do that. And unlike that prior report, this one, the information is updated weekly, so it's much more accurate. So again, if we look right here at our real-time market profile, the median list price currently of all listings in Frisco is right at 800,000, and the median list price of the new listings that have come on the market in the last week is 785,000. So if I go back here for just a sec, you can see that the median sold price was 709, whereas the median list price now is 800 to 785. Now, again, remember, for that 709, that was for homes listed primarily in December and January. What this is showing us right here, for this being the list price now, based on days on market, these are homes that are going to go under contract most likely in May. They will probably close in June or July. So this kind of gives you an idea on where our prices are heading as we look forward into the months ahead. And remember, from that previous chart, we saw that homes are currently selling for about 99% of list price. So when we look at where these list prices are and we look at this pricing trend, it kind of gives us a pretty good idea of what we're going to see for home prices over the summer. Now, there are about 35% of homes taking a price reduction before they go under contract. That's very normal. That's right in the percentage that we would normally see in a healthy market. And this right here is also signifying, just like the other, that we are still in a strong seller's market. Now, with regards to home prices, as I mentioned earlier, home prices are simply the result of the balance or imbalance between buyer activity and how many sellers there are, supply and demand. And you've probably noticed, I mean, the headlines are full of reports of saying inventory is way up, inventory is way up. And it is, but we really need to keep some perspective. This dotted line, dash line here shows where we are currently. 385 homes is the 7-day average as of April 12th. The good news about that is the highest level of inventory, highest level of homes for sale we have had going all the way back to October of 2022. So again, perspective is needed. If we go back to October of 2019, you can see there were over 800 homes for sale. So with that in mind, we're still way, way, way down from where we were in general pre-pandemic. Right here is when we started to see, this is when everything kind of shut down, and this is when we saw things plummet overall. Now, the other nice thing about this report is it breaks the Frisco market down, or any market that you're looking at, into quarters, if you like. So each one of these segments represents 25% of the overall market. So the lowest segment in the Frisco market are homes priced right around 500,000, all the way up to the highest segment. They're priced right at, the median price is about 1.7 million. Now, no surprise, you can see that the most active market is the homes all the way up to just under 700,000. This past month, 22 were listed, 16 were sold. In the segment above, 29 were listed, 17 were sold. But the interesting thing is, if you look at it for days on market, the fastest moving segment in our market right now is right around 950. So why do I point this out? Well, if you're planning on selling or buying and you're trying to get a rough idea on how long to expect your home to be on the market, or if you're buying and want to know how long do I have to make a decision on that home, this is going to give you a rough idea. So again, in the description below, you're going to find a link to this market report where you can go ahead and subscribe and or just look up the city or zip code that is most of interest to you. I hope that you're finding value in this video today. If you are, go ahead and hit the like button. Give me the thumbs up, as well as subscribe to this channel, because each and every week I put new videos out, not only on the market trends and statistics on what is going on in our local market, but also provide neighborhood tours, examples of homes for sale, do new construction tours, and things like that. So I'd appreciate it. Consider subscribing to this channel. As I mentioned right at the beginning, the new builders are kind of ahead of the curve, if you like. They're always watching what's going on. And the incentives that they've been offering over the past several months, or past year basically, have been changing based upon what the market is telling them. And right now, especially for the last 30 days or so, you've seen this shift. They're starting to offer less with regards to closing costs, and they are aggressively going after mortgage rates once again, as they know mortgage rates are a hot button and move the needle in terms of payment more than anything else that they can do. And rather than just offering temporary rate buy downs, many of the builders are now offering permanent rate buy downs, especially on quick move-in homes, homes that are going to be ready in the next 30 to 120 days. Those are homes that I do a lot of videos on. So please check out some of the other videos on this channel to get an example of what it is that I'm talking about. And those particular incentives that the builder is doing, they could be offering 30-year fixed rate mortgages around 5.75, 5.99% on the one hand. On the other hand, you're finding some builders are still doing a 2-1 or a 3-1 buy down, meaning for the first year, your mortgage rate might only be 3.99%. The second year, it goes up to 4.99%. The third year, it goes up to 5.99% and can be fixed from there. So those are something to look out for. And again, if you'd like any additional information about those, I invite you to reach out. Go ahead and call or text the number on your screen or book a call with me. My calendar link is in the description below, and I'd love to learn more about what your real estate plans are, talk to you about what is actually happening here in our local market. I'm always happy to provide the guidance and advice that you need to make the best decision for you and your family. Now go ahead, stick around and watch one of these videos coming up next.